How you doing? Welcome to TechHead 2000. I'm your host, Jack Halpin, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Logitech Comfort Wave keyboard. Different variations of this keyboard have been on Logitech's keyboard lineup for over a decade, and I've actually had previous experience with this keyboard. Both my dad and my granddad have used this keyboard for years at their places of work and have had nothing but good experiences. This keyboard strives for three things: practicality, durability, and comfort. And I'm super excited to open this brand new one that I bought for $50 at my local Office Depot. You can get it a little cheaper on Amazon, of course, but to be honest with you, I just missed shopping at a brick and mortar retail store. So 2019, am I right? So without further ado, let's check it out. So in the box, of course, you get the keyboard itself, little Comfort Wave mouse that it comes with, and you cannot forget the little USB dongle. Don't lose this. And it looks like it comes with batteries, which is pretty cool. And I think we're ready to go. Alright guys, we're going to be using this keyboard on my tragically old Windows 7 computer. Looks good. Looks good. I'm going to plug the little dongle into one of the USB ports on the back. And I believe Windows will be familiar with the driver for this because these things have been around forever. And boom! So what are my thoughts on this keyboard? Well, first of all, this thing is incredibly durable. It is built like a tank, and I can confirm that from years of using these in the past. They are very sturdy. I mean, look at the back of this thing. There are 18 screws on here. This isn't coming apart anytime soon. Next up, comfort, and this thing really is super comfortable. It's got this really big wrist rest on the bottom, which is this nice texture, and you know, it feels good. It rests my wrists, you know? Like, compared to maybe other keyboards that either don't have a wrist rest or have some kind of weird ledge on them, this is really nice. This is something that I can type on for a long time. These keys are specifically designed with the shape of your hand and like the length of your different fingers in mind, so that's why it kind of has that wave thing going on, which is really smart. I mean, when you think of other keyboards, it really is just like a grid. So what Logitech did with this one is pretty nice because it does take some getting used to, but eventually, like if you're gonna type on this thing for hours, having this shape is probably like beneficial to the health of your, you know, your tendons and your nerves and all the other fun stuff in your fingers. And I know this is standard fare for a multimedia keyboard, but I wanted to mention all these little extra buttons. They really are super handy, especially the volume buttons and the power button. I use those basically every day. And most importantly, the feel of the keys. They feel really good for a rubber dome keyboard. Different keyboards use different mechanisms. Rubber dome keyboards use literal rubber domes that press down to cause the switches to contact. Certain people really like mechanical keyboards, which use actual mechanical switches. I bought this thing knowing full well that it was a rubber dome keyboard, but for a rubber dome keyboard, the keys are very responsive, they don't feel mushy, and they're also not too loud. Now, as great as this keyboard is, it isn't perfect. One of the biggest drawbacks is it takes up a lot of space on a desk. For instance, compare it to this normal size keyboard, and you can tell it does take up a lot of extra space, but a lot of that is that awesome wrist rest, so I'm not gonna knock off too many points for that. Also, I should probably mention they made some strange decision in arranging these keys. For instance, all of the function keys are laid out in little groups of 3 instead of 4. This isn't the end of the world, it's just strange. Another strange design choice is they moved around some of the lesser used keys. For instance, insert is now up here, which I'm a big fan of because it makes the delete button bigger. It's just this arrangement takes some time to get used to. They also added in a function key here, which lets you use all of these extra features. And now you need the function key to do menu and scroll lock, but I mean, nobody uses those keys ever. Lastly, I should mention this is a Windows keyboard. It will work on a Mac, but it just doesn't have the Command and Option keys. Overall, the Comfort Wave is super durable, super comfortable, and for what you're paying, only $50, the keys feel really nice. I would highly recommend it. And this mouse is a good mouse. Not the best mouse in the world, but of course not the worst one in the world. It feels pretty comfortable, it has extra buttons on the side, and the accuracy of the laser is pretty good. As for ergonomics, I mean, it feels better than the booger ball, but I'm more into this kind of thing but I would definitely be okay with using this for long periods of time. Overall satisfied. Comparing this keyboard with other ones that I use a lot, well, this here is the daily driver for my Mac. It's the keyboard that went with the iMac G3. And it's an Apple keyboard, so you have the command and option buttons, which is nice. As for the feel of the keys, it's close. I kind of like the feel of these keys better, although I am very used to this one too, so pretty close. This one definitely is more comfortable and it has the wrist rest and everything, but this one takes up a lot less space and it matches all the Apple stuff a little better, so different tools for different jobs. Now mouse-wise, I definitely love this one way more than the Booger Ball. The only reason I use the Booger Ball is because I do a lot of video editing and the multi-directional ball is perfect for scrolling through a timeline, but everything else I gotta hand it to this mouse. I also have one of these keyboards, and I know they make a version of this with the keypad, so I'm not gonna knock it for not having one, but in general, I mean, this is a totally different animal. I'm more into this kind of thing because I'm more about comfort and practicality than it looking like the most beautiful thing ever. And, you know, to be fair, it is tiny. It takes up hardly any space at all, but, you know, it's so small. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world. And there isn't a lot of key travel. I don't have a problem with there being a lot of travel to these keys. No, just my opinion on that one. I showed you this one earlier. This is a compact keyboard from probably mid-90s, and it has the best feeling rubber dome keys. Like, I would take this over this any day, but this one's louder, this one's older, it takes up a little less space, but it's just a big old 90s rectangle and it's not the most comfortable thing in the world. I also have a Razer Black Widow Ultimate mechanical gaming keyboard, and the keys feel awesome, of course. They're mechanical keys, very clicky, very responsive, but picture this. Everybody's different, but not everybody is into that. You know, you can just slide into comforting luxury with this keyboard. Seriously, if you want something that'll offer you long-term comfort and durability, go with the Comfort Wave. Just, if you're the kind of person who also games, but just sometimes, go ahead and get one of these too. Just put it in the closet or something. You break it out when things get serious. And those are my thoughts on the Logitech Comfort Wave keyboard. Long story short, if you want a keyboard that's durable, comfortable, and feels pretty good for just $50, this is the keyboard for you. Just some things to keep in mind. It takes a little getting used to, and you need to have plenty of space on your desk for it. Also, this is meant for PCs. Besides that though, of course, this really is an awesome keyboard. It's good for anything. You can use it in any setup for any project. It's very comfortable, durable, feels really nice. I highly recommend it. Thank you so much for watching and have a fantastic day.
Tech 2000.
Today we're going to be reviewing the Logitech Comfort Wave! Did that?
My bubbly!
I'm going to be reviewing. This is not working. This is not working at all.